Hi, Alan Stratton here from CostMatters.com with a little bit more on standard costs. Most manufacturing companies have a standard cost system, and their first motivation for the system is to simplify inventory valuation and tracking efforts. But then, with all the resulting information available from the system, it seems only logical to use it for key performance indicators or KPIs. One indicator could be a product's total standard cost. Others could be variances recorded for material prices, scrap, labor rates, labor efficiency, and overhead. Variances are the differences between the standard and the actual cost or the actual usage. The problem with standards as key performance indicators is that they are very interrelated and may trigger unintended consequences. For a simple yet classic example, let's assume that purchasing has a purchase price variance performance indicator, and that therefore purchasing is rewarded for a favorable variance. A purchase price variance here is just the difference between the standard cost and the actual price of materials purchased. However, purchasing also has a role in setting the standard for materials, and with all else equal, purchasing would drive for higher standards for materials. Then when they negotiate a lower price, the resulting more favorable variance contributes to their performance evaluation. And this performance indicator may also drive purchasing to consider substandard materials or less qualified vendors who offer a lower price. In this case, the purchase price variance may be favorable, but additional cost is incurred in reworking materials, dealing with poor quality issues, or in manufacturing downtime. For another classic example, a product manager may have a product cost as an indicator, as one of his performance indicators. Now, he complains that his product is overcosted and sends a team of engineers to fix it. The team examines the labor routings for the product and finds some issues and adjusts the labor standard downward. This lowers the standard cost for labor. And since many companies use labor as a basis to calculate overhead, the overhead standard is reduced also. However, since the adjustment is done for one product and does not take in all other products into consideration, the net effect may be only to shift costs from one product to all others. Then it may trigger a snowball effect as other product managers then complain that their products are now overcosted and go fix them. Does this mean that standard costs should never be used as key performance indicators? Well, not necessarily. There's no single magic key performance indicator, no silver bullet. Any measure always has consequences, whether intended or unintended. What gets measured gets managed, and too much focus on one indicator may well lead to improvements in that measure, but then be an overall detriment to the company. The key is to understand the interrelationships of standards, variances, and actual costs, with their potential consequences, and then set key performance indicators accordingly. My recommendation is to consider actual costs as key performance indicators, rather than standards and variances. Actual costs are more difficult to manipulate, and however, there are always consequences, and calculating an actual cost is extremely dependent on understanding overhead, since that's such a big component of cost. And understanding overhead is a topic by itself. My additional recommendation is to consider activity-based cost methods to understand and to manage overhead. Stay tuned for that. So, what are your experiences using standard costs and key performance indicators? I'm sure you have a bunch. Please share them below this post at CostMatters.com. When cost matters, profits soar. I'm Alan Stratton from CostMatters.com. Thank you.